Hello lovely Patreons. In this episode of the gate restoration we're going to be looking at some of the round tenons that I found on the gate. We've got two different types here. We've got one on the end of a vertical rail and one on the end of a horizontal rail. We're going to be closing them in this video as well, so enjoy. I'll be covering the processes to make tenons like this in a few different ways. I will be doing some of this by hand, but this particular one that we're doing for the gate is going to get made under the power hammer. It's a 16mm round tenon that we're going to be using for this one. You will need to make yourself some tools and get hold of some tooling in order to do this process. A guillotine tool with a set of butchers is always very helpful, but we'll go over that later. We'll also be talking about monkeys and some swages and stuff that you can use in order to round up your tenons if you are making a round tenon. I'll also be using a leg vise. We're probably going to need some files at some point, and also an angle grinder of some description can come in handy for doing the tidying up parts that we'll need to do later on. I'm replacing the components in the gate for mild steel. I don't have access to wrought iron, plus there isn't budget to make all the new components out of wrought iron. In order to do that would be very expensive, so sadly that's not going to happen. However, I've drawn out this piece here. It's a piece of 50 by 16mm mild steel. We're going to put 2 marks either side, and we're going to use our butchering tools on our blacksmith's helper, the ones that I make, and we're going to butcher in and take this down to about 22-23mm, and then we're going to draw this out under the power hammer. Right, I messed up a bit. This material doesn't fit inside the guillotine tool. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take a hand butcher. I'm just going to butcher in a little bit, and then when it fits, I'll be able to stick it in the butcher, bring that material down nice and evenly, and make the tenon. Bolster plates and monkeys are a great way to get a nice clean transition between your starting material and then the tenon. In the video you'll have seen me using both of these bolster plates to create the 2 round tenons that we're using, but monkeys are also another great way to create that really tidy shoulder. They tend to have a little hole in the bottom of them or somewhere up the side. I think that's to let steam or gas out, but basically you just slide that over the end of the tenon, and then you hit this with a hammer, and that gives you that really nice clean transition. This tenon isn't the tenon that we are going to be closing or riveting over. This is the one that I've made for the other gate because this one needed replacing as well. We're also going to be repairing one of the verticals. Basically that broke. I had to cut a piece off, then weld another piece in and get it all straight and sorted out. A little bit more complicated than I would have liked, but anyway, we got there in the end. So enjoy that as well. See you at the end. of chaps. Naughty boy. This heel here, I haven't filmed much of it being made, and as a consequence, a lot of this isn't going to make sense. But this bar here wasn't straight, but it wasn't straight to the point where it was still hanging on to this bloody bar, and I'm not sure what's happened. So anyway, basically I've decided to cut it out, and now I need to put a tenon. So I thought it was a good opportunity just to do another tenon. I hope that made sense. But we'll do a tenon on this one, make some steel up, and then knock a tenon into it. And I'll show you how we'd go about doing that. Start butchering in round on the material. Making sure everything stays nice and tidy. Just get that butchered in now. So I want to come down 10mm. So about half, so that's about 5mm off each side with this one. Like so. Use that to tidy up this bottom edge and get everything looking just really very smart. I'm going to give this a wire brushing in just a second, but straighten that up a little bit as well. But we're pretty much there with this. It's going to need a little bit of a touch with a file just to make sure everything's nice and dapper, but pretty good. Maybe one of these at a colder heat, just make sure that we've got a nice true good shoulder there. I must admit, this steel that I've used here has got some really weird shuts in it all the way up the length, but it's better than the wrought iron in that gate. And like with all the tenons, I'm just going to go around it whilst it's cold with a file and tidy everything up, make sure that we're flush and everything looks nice and smart. No weird bits on it or anything out. Okay, so that's the tenon in. Now everything's a bit warm, we've been straightening bits and bobs up, and then if I can get that to focus. There's nothing else there to focus on that, that's it. Still not doing it. Right, and that is the countersunk hole that our tenon hopefully is going to fit into, so we're going to do that now. And these rails are loose, I'll just show you the jack at the top. Got a little jack in here just to hold the rail in whilst we close the tenon. Thank you for watching. I have really enjoyed working through this process. I think the tenon is a great way to join two pieces together, especially a vertical into a horizontal. They're simple. Once you know how to do them, they're really, really easy, and they're really, really good. They work really well if you do everything right. Hopefully you did enjoy this video. The next episode, there'll be a bit more tenon stuff to complement the video that was made with the heel connection thing. I don't know if people seen that. That's over on the main channel, but here there will be another tenon video. I think that will probably be next week, and there might be some work on the scrolls to do the repair for the scroll. So that's everything for today. Thank you so much for joining me. I really hope you have enjoyed this. Once again, thank you for pledging. Thank you for joining in. I really, 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 really do appreciate it. See you next time. Bye-bye.